Hey, what's up, guys? It's Online Money 24/7, and today we're going to be talking about 5 biggest lies about money and investing. So, these are things that you typically hear from a lot of people, and we're going to be breaking down the most common 5 things that people will say about money and investing. So, first one is that you can save your way to financial freedom. You can just throw all those pennies in the piggy bank, save those dollars all your whole life, and then you'll finally have financial freedom. You'll get that wealth built up and you'll be good. Now, saving isn't a bad thing, but if you're saving it in the wrong way, it can be because you won't really get anywhere with it. So I'm going to break that down here. So, inflation rates. That is something every single year the US dollar becomes less and less valuable. So $10 20 years ago is not worth, it would have been worth more then than $10 now. And the average inflation rate, I think, going right now is it's about 1% to 2% is roughly the range that it varies. It varies from year to year, but that is something to keep up with because money that you just have sitting, under your mattress or whatever for 10 years is going to be significantly less valuable than it was when you first had it. So how can we combat this? And also, what if? This is kind of like a what if scenario. What if you were to save $5 every day for 100 years? That would only be $182,000. And that's 100 years. So clearly, that is definitely not the way to get to millionaire status or anything close to financial freedom. And, let me just put it in a savings account. Wrong again, because banks barely pay anything for savings accounts nowadays. I believe I made a penny last month off of a few $1,000s in a savings account. It's absolutely nothing. So, it's good for emergency funds and stuff like that, to have it set aside in like a savings emergency fund, but to actually build wealth with it, definitely not the way to go because you get paid almost no interest and it does not keep up with inflation. So, moving into the second lie that most people will say is that investing is all luck. You gotta pick that charm, that 4-leaf clover. It's all luck. Oh, boo-hoo, boo-hoo. You gotta find the perfect stock or investment. Just completely false. And I'm just gonna go through the couple of bullet points and then kind of give rebuttals on each of them. So, yeah, perfect stock or investment. You don't need a perfect stock or investment. It just needs to be something that looks good on paper, you do a lot of research into, because I'm not limiting this to just stocks. It could be any type of investment. If you're going to be making money over time, it doesn't have to be perfect. It can make you only a 5% return per year, but that is actually pretty solid little return. Maybe you go for something that has about an 8% return over a year, or maybe a 12%. You want to aim for a higher percent that you can get, but if you figure out some sort of investment that works for you, that's secure, it doesn't have to be perfect. You don't need to find that Facebook stock when it was only $30. You don't have to find the Netflixes, all those crazy stocks that have shot up over the years. Maybe you were smart enough to jump on them, but you don't have to find that perfect golden nugget to be able to actually make any money from investing. It's just not true. So second is people compare it to the lottery as if investing is like the lottery. The only way investing is like the lottery is if you're investing in penny stocks. That is the only surefire way to make investing like the lottery. Actual companies that are big corporations that are valuable, like a McDonald's, Johnson & Johnson, a PayPal, Coca-Cola, like all these companies, I could go on and on, nowhere near penny stock status, and they're very secure companies. If you put money in there, those companies aren't just going to vaporize tomorrow. Okay, Coca-Cola isn't just going to disappear and shut down their factories. Oh no, we're not going to exist anymore. It's the only way that investing is like a lottery is penny stocks. So stay far and far away from penny stocks. Secure companies, not going to run into that kind of issue. And risky and similar to gambling, that is also kind of going against the whole lottery factor of, it's like gambling. You're just throwing your money. You don't know what's going to happen. And it's like, if you just ride the market, even through its ups and downs, the American economy is not going anywhere. And if it was, then, there'd be a lot more issues that would, other than just stocks. Like, it's pretty secure, over the past like 50 years, 100 years, like there hasn't been anything too crazy. Like the stock market, the Dow has continually gone up and it's dipped down. There's 2008, 2009, it's dipped down, but it goes back up, so it rises and falls. It's pretty secure. Like it's not, you're not just throwing your money at a poker table being like, all right, I'm putting all my money on red or on blue. Let's see what happens. Like, you're not just buying dumb lottery tickets to hope for that horrible math that the lottery is. It's actually, you're investing money into secure companies that you believe in, that have growth potential. It's not like you're just throwing your money out into the thin air and hoping for something to happen. So moving into the third one is that you have to start rich to become wealthy. This is a very common one, and it's just so not true at all. The thing is, most millionaires actually start from nothing. I think it was 70% of millionaires start from little to nothing, like, barely anything to, just a normal job, like working at McDonald's, and then they have some sort of business that they create or invest slowly over the years. I mean, I'm going to give another comparison here pretty soon about how you can invest like a little bit of money per year just working as a regular job and still be a millionaire when you retire. So another thing people say is, oh, you gotta be born into money or have a trust fund. And honestly, people that are born into a lot of money or have a trust fund set up typically don't work that hard. And this is just something that's true because, like, people that already have their lives set up for them, they may actually go broke because they never develop the skills and the habits to actually build wealth. They just were like, oh, I'm assuming I'm going to have wealth anyway. It doesn't matter what I do. I can just be a screw up in life and it doesn't matter. And there are some people that are like that, but a lot of times those trust fund type people, they get the money and they don't know what to do. I'm not saying this is everybody, of course, but that's just if you're set up already having this type of life, like you have to be born into it or have some trust fund, they're actually almost at a disadvantage because they don't know how to actually work hard for their money. They just have been getting handouts their whole life. So they may actually end up blowing the money because they never had any kind of financial knowledge themselves, if they were never taught that or never learned it themselves. So actually, people that aren't born into a ton of money or have a giant trust fund, stuff like that, are at an advantage. Those people that are born into that kind of stuff almost have a disadvantage in a way because they don't have like that financial knowledge. At least most people don't because they're used to getting handouts. So yeah, that's just something I've seen with people that I know personally and just things that I've seen. I mean, why would you? It's just people that just don't know. So moving into the next point is $100 a month at 12% interest for 40 years is over $1 million. So as you can see, even if you don't create some like business or something like that, maybe you're not an entrepreneur. If you're watching this video, you probably are, honestly. But people, you could be working a regular 9-to-5 job, not even get paid a ton, but at least put away $100 a month, 12% interest for 40 years, over $1 million for retirement. And as you can see, like, you don't have to have a ton with investing to actually make things happen. So moving into the next slide is number 4. You should trust other people with your money. No, you're not smart enough to do your own money management. You got to pay someone else to do that, Sonny. So who could you trust really better than yourself, honestly speaking? No one. You trust yourself the most with your money. I mean, that's just a simple question. So, and the thing to keep in mind with putting your money into other people's hands is that they make part of your profits. If you actually manage your money yourself, and trust me, it does not take that many hours per week. I've spoken to many different people that have a lot of money that manage themselves. It does not take a ton per week. It takes a little bit of research here and there, to do things to make money with your money, but like, it does not take insane amount of time. And if you're putting your money, paying someone to manage it, they're making some of your profit that you could have had for yourself. And especially if you have a large portfolio built up over time, that's a lot of money that you're just throwing out to someone to do the little amount of work that you could just be doing yourself. So, and it's just not that difficult to do your own money management. So paying someone is really not worth it because of the amount of profit. They're a salesman. They're trying to get some money out of you. And so, while it's not a bad thing overall, if you just take some time to learn it yourself, it's going to be way better in the long run because then you're not skimming any of the profits off to someone else. You're keeping all that profit for yourself. and whatnot. So moving into number 5, this is the most common thing I hear. It's complicated, it's difficult, I don't know what to do. Everything can be learned thanks to the internet. Pretty much everything that I know to this day can be attributed to the internet in some shape, form, or fashion, whether it's YouTube, like this type of video, informational, educational type videos, whether it's a book, whether it's a course. There's so many pieces of knowledge out there, and it's so accessible with the internet. There's no excuse to not learn about investing with all of this free information that's out there nowadays, or even paid stuff, even courses and or books and all that. Like, there's so much out there with the internet. There's no excuse to feel complicated by investing, because new apps have made investing quick and simple, which I'm going to get into in the next slide. But it is so much easier. It has never been easier with the way that the internet has changed the game with investing and learning about it and actually putting your money to grow into investments to grow your money. It's not that complicated. It does not take that long to learn. If you just take the time and take it piece by piece, you can get there. I learned this all off the internet myself over the past few years. It's not crazy. You can definitely do it. So watching this video is definitely one of those first steps to understanding money and investments. So the app I was going to talk about here, which makes investing very easy, is Robinhood. So I personally use this app because it's a free stock trading app. There's no commissions on trades. So that means that when you're putting in your investments, you don't have to pay anything. Like a lot of E-Trades and all those other kind of TD America, all those other kind of investments, you have to pay a $10 commission for when you buy a stock, which with Robinhood, you don't pay anything. So it's great for beginners because you're not losing any money from doing buy and sell orders, which is great. It's awesome. So there's no excuse to not get started. And I actually have a link below if you wanted to get signed up with Robinhood. It helps out the channel a lot. So if you want to get started, I do have that linked below. That's what I use. Robinhood's great, works well for me. So guys, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. I have a whole lot of educational type videos out there on this channel focused around money, investing. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video. Comment down below if you have any questions. And guys, that is all for today's video, so I will see you in the next one. Peace out.